Kia ora and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got something very special for you. It's the all-new 2025 Mercedes-AMG GT63. From twisty Kiwi back roads to highway vistas, let's see what this German Hyper GT can do unleashed on New Zealand's terrain. We've taken this car on 2 weekends away, clocking up some 2,000 kilometres, so I feel like we really have a handle on what we like and what we don't like. I'll take you through the changes from the last model, my thoughts on the styling, the interior and the tech, and we'll talk about driving this car. And then I'll give you my 5 likes and my 5 dislikes. Let's get stuck in. For 2025, the wheels are stiffer and lighter for less unsprung weight, and the car now has passive flap geometry in the underbody diffuser to help improve downforce at higher speeds. Inside, there's been an upgrade to the software and the infotainment system, some new instrument cluster themes, and some minor trim changes. It's great to see Mercedes-AMG have focused on the chassis and mechanicals of this car rather than just giving a bit of a facelift and adding some toys like many do. Has it paid off? We'll find out. Let's start at the front. The GT63 greets you with the iconic AMG Panamericana grille, now wider and more aggressive. These vertical slats are finished in either high gloss black or chrome, and they give it a commanding presence on the road. I have to say, on the motorway and the outside lane, I actually had cars pulling to the left lane when I was behind them. This car looks mean, and these digital LED headlights just look fantastic, and they work brilliantly at night too. There's a long range and good breadth of light of those. Side on the GT63 silhouette, it's pure coupe drama. The long, low-slung bonnet, a sharply raked windshield, and muscular fenders give it a stance that's it's elegant and it's intimidating. Those flared wheel arches house massive 21-inch AMG forged alloy wheels, and they're available in matte black, titanium grey, or even matte gold. These wheels aren't just pretty, they're lightweight and reduce unsprung mass. They improve the car's handling, and behind them we've got the AMG 6-pot calipers peeking through. A shame though that these vents, they're not real, they're fake. I was really disappointed that they're not actually functional at all. Swinging round to the rear of the GT63 and the coupe drama continues. Our test car has a night package, and that means a fixed carbon fibre rear spoiler. So without the night package, the spoiler is automatic and adjusts downforce for when you need it the most. Down below we've got these beautiful AMG quad exhaust tips sitting inside the carbon fibre sculptured diffuser. We've got some 1980s tail lights here. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of those, but some people will like them. Like the side vents, these are not actually vents. Again, completely fake, don't do anything, just for looks. Our test car is fitted with some extras, both inside and out. For the exterior, it has the AMG carbon package. That's priced at $13,100, and that gives you race-inspired detailing, the splitter, the mirror caps, the side sills, rear diffuser, all in carbon weave. Worth it? I think so. We've also got the AMG night package at $10,000, and that gives you a fixed rear spoiler, trim elements in black, 21-inch forged alloy wheels, and the exterior night package, and the aerodynamics package. What else have we got? We've also got this amazing hyper blue Magno paint. Yes, it cost $10,300, but just look at it. Everywhere I went, people were staring at this car, people were talking to me about this car, and even in the small town of Hawera in Taranaki, 2 guys saw the car and parked across the road, and they spent 15 minutes walking around just looking at it. It's that impressive. It looks bloody amazing. Inside this car we have nappa leather, and that costs $2,700, and there's also the AMG performance seats at $2,600. So total options on this car, $38,700. Total price, $388,600. We have most of Mercedes-AMG's best equipment in here, like their awesome heads-up display. As usual, there's an awesome Burmester sound system. Both front seats are 3-stage heated and cooled. The steering wheel's heated, but it's just a single stage heat. Weirdly, there's a switch on the steering wheel to turn on that steering wheel heater. There's also controls in the information system. While this car is all about the looks and the driving, the interior isn't too shabby. This optional white leather looks amazing, and as usual, Mercedes-AMG fit and finish, it's top of the class. As you'd expect, most of the materials used in here look as good as you can see them in this video. If there's a but here, The seat heating and ventilation controls. Mercedes-Benz have used them for years, but the whole switch panel moves in and out when you push it, and it just doesn't feel like luxury. Sadly, while these doors are huge, the door pockets are really small. There's nowhere to put a drink bottle in here for a starter. So I've had to put mine into the cup holders in the centre, which I don't really like because it stands up and proud and sort of in the road. I was also surprised to find that near on $400,000, the sunroof has a manual blind. I may do, but it still seems a bit surprising. Surprising as well as these cheap and nasty sun visors. They feel terrible, they look terrible, and they're just so out of place in this car. But overall, the interior, it's a great place to travel a long distance. As a grand tourer, this is really nice. I'll talk about the driving position later in this video, but let's just say I actually think I prefer the standard seats over the sports seats, and you'll find out why. You do get Mercedes-AMG's normal electric adjustment on using controls on the door. The seats are one piece, so there's no electric headrest if that matters to you, but the cushion is adjustable in length for you tall people out there. Believe it or not, one of the best features about this interior and a lot of Mercedes-Benz cars are the air vents. They look great and they're so simple. No haptic controls to turn them off. Vents you move around with your hand, so easy while you're driving. Twist them to turn them off and on. Not rocket science. So unlike BMW, who seem to be moving to haptic controls to operate simple things like vents, Mercedes-AMG have stuck with something that just works. The steering wheel's adjustable electrically up and down, in and out through a button under the steering wheel, and it's Alcantara where your hands sit, which is quite nice, but Alcantara can get dirty pretty easily. Steering wheel actually feels a bit big for this car. It's a super sporty car, a hypercar. Not overly big, but just a little bit. We have Mercedes-Benz's standard haptic steering wheel controls that means they're painful to use. Almost every time I have to look down to see what I'm pressing, and sometimes something changes because I've brushed my palm over one of the controls and I have no idea what it is. Volkswagen are now reverting back to their old steering wheel buttons. Great. Mercedes-Benz used to have the best steering wheel buttons in the business, and unfortunately these are some of the worst now. Hopefully they'll change it back soon. Since these are sports seats, they've got electric lumbar adjust. It's through the menu here, so we can just go in, and it's brilliantly done. You can just adjust the lumbar in as much as you want, at the point you want, and the motors make it work. It's fantastic. We've also got electric side bolster adjustment, so you can just dial in again, passenger or driver. As much seat bolster adjustment coming in as you want, in a scale of 0 to 10. Crank it up. Fantastic on one of those windy roads if your significant other is going a bit too hard. It may be a four-seater, but you really can't have legs back here. It's really tight when the seat's back. Headroom, pretty limited, so don't expect to take 4 adults on a long trip unless you really hate your 2 backseat passengers, and if you do, go for it. No USB ports back here. There's nowhere to put your arm on the left side. There's no grab hold for your hand, and realistically you're going to be hanging on for your life. It's tight. It's probably just somewhere people are going to dump all their stuff. GT63 is actually a big car, and that's paid off with boot space. We've got a pretty reasonable 321 litres here, more than enough for a weekend away. And if you get really desperate, there's a remote button for the seat, and that gives us 675 litres. Again, very usable space, and with the rear leg room, you could probably just leave that back seat down. Under the floor, we've got a little bit more space here. Also a tyre pump and a tyre repair kit, and it's shallow, but you could chuck some soft jackets down there to keep them out of the road. So not bad, bigger than you'd expect, and again, pretty usable. So that's the interior and design of the AMG GT63. What's it like to drive? People who are buying it might be buying it for the looks, but most of them are buying it for the sounds and the driving and the handling and the braking, all that stuff. So how does it fare? Just want to start off first with talking about using the car around town and not on the open road like I am now, or away on a weekend. Around town, it's not too bad. It's actually quite usable. I mean, you've obviously got the punch there to get into traffic pretty damn quickly. The brakes around town are awesome. They're beautiful feel to them, modulate them perfectly.
We'll see what they're like on the open road and around the twisties when we get a chance to do that. But around town, pretty damn good. I've got to say that tyre noise, coarse chip seal, our favourite not road type, those tyres are pretty loud. They're Michelin Pilot Sport 5s, and I don't know if you can hear it, but they're quite thrummy on coarse chip seal. Other surfaces are okay. I was quite surprised there's a bit of wind noise coming from the pillar here or the mirror. Can't quite pick it up, but it's not bad. But there's definitely some wind noise coming from outside the car there. But getting back to commuting, it's pretty easy. The boot is far bigger than I thought it would be. It's just a very usable car around town. Absolutely no complaints if you wanted to daily drive this car. If there's one thing, if you did want to daily drive this car that's not ideal, it's the rear visibility. The C-pillars back there, they're fairly chonky. They've got a wide angle on them, and that just makes them longer. Blind spot monitoring, of course, all a normal safety system, so you're pretty well protected. But doing a head check over there, you can't see a lot. The sides of the rear quarters are quite high too. That doesn't help. But hey, there's a lot of safety systems in this car, more probably than any other car. So daily commute visibility, it's okay. When I was talking to you about the design of the car, and I mentioned the rear haunches and how good they look. And man, it's just, I love looking in the outside mirror, either side. You just see this stunning blue rear end of the car poking out so far out. And on my side, on this mirror, I can see the wing sticking up there. It looks fantastic. It's one of those things, for me at least, if I had bought this car, I sort of feel vindicated every time I look in there and see what's happening out there. I think this looks amazing. So, the incredible styling feature of this car, and front, back, inside, outside, those haunches look really nice. So, is it worth even talking about fuel economy? And let's put it out there. Whoever buys one of these cars, that's the last thing on their mind, but it's still interesting. When I picked this car up yesterday, it was sitting on 29 litres per 100 kilometres. That freaked me out a bit, because I've got 2 weekends away in this car, and so all I could see was me buying the managing director of BP a new BMW or a new Mercedes-Benz. Holy cow, 29 litres. But after driving it around town yesterday for a bit on the open road, I've done 138 k's and it's down to 11.2 litres per 100k. I am not complaining about that at the moment. That's pretty reasonable. But we'll see how we go after 2 weekends away and some testing of the car's performance and handling, loading it up with stuff, and really that will be the key point. Is at the end of this test we'll be covering 1,500, 2,000 kilometres. I'm really keen to see what that average fuel economy is at that point. We'll report back. Okay, buying an AMG twin turbo V8 is all about performance. I've got it in track mode. It's wet, so it'll be interesting to see how those massively Y305 tyres grip. We've got all-wheel drive, but getting that 430 kilowatts down, let's see how she goes. Okay, it gets to 100 pretty damn quickly. And we've got all the sounds there. It got the power down really well. There's a little bit of squirreling at the back, but it didn't last very long, and the electronics kicked in and just gave it grip where it needed it. And wow, that was impressive. And I guess, back to comfort mode, and I guess that's where cars like a twin turbo V8 have it over a high performance EV. It's all about that oral experience, and this AMG, it has it in spades. Coarse chip seal, as I said before, for these tyres, not its friend. I'm on some now and it's quite loud. There's also road noise coming through to the car, to the cabin, but there's also a lot of mechanical noises too, and it all creates an engaging drive. It is quite amazing. You're not being driven in this car, you are driving it. And sure, if you floor it in the wet from a standstill, the electronics will help you get that 430 kilowatts down to the road, but otherwise, it's very much a driver's car. You feel so engaged in this like you are driving it. It's brilliant in that respect. I mentioned in the opening around the chassis changes and how the Mercedes-AMG have improved the turn-in on this car for this generation. And it's better. It's not a huge leap forward. Definitely improved, but there are cars out there that have far better turn-in, and we've got to keep in mind that this car, it's over 2 ton. It's big, it's heavy. The turn-in is never going to be fantastic, but it's still pretty damn good. You've really got to rely on those 305 30 tyres. Yes, 305s on the back. Michelin Pilot Sport 5s. So much grip. 4-wheel drive. That's what's getting you through the corners quick. Is that performance of the engine, the grip of the tyres, and the all-wheel drive. So turn-in, not spectacular, but man, you can really punch this thing through the bends. Nobody's buying this car for a limousine-style ride, and you're not going to get one anyway. I'm not going to try and say it is really smooth riding, because it's not. It's quite firm. Some bumps can throw you around a bit, but hey, again, you're buying this car for its handling, not for its ride quality, but it is on the firmer side of things. There is adaptive suspension. It's a high-spec model, so you can adjust your suspension between comfort, sport, etc. But even on comfort mode, it's fairly firm. I mentioned earlier about the performance of this car off the mark and just how quickly it gets to 100 k's. 3.2 seconds, that's pretty damn fast. There's others out there matching that speed, but the way this car does it with the sound and the experience and the feel of the car, it's outstanding. But what about just normal, I wouldn't call it daily driving, but normal open road performance and acceleration? Passing other traffic, absolute breeze, even in comfort mode. Just plant your foot and you'll get past quickly and safely. And if you really want to move it quickly and make sounds better, just turn the dial on the steering wheel controls and select Sport or Sport Plus, and you'll really honk it. You'll get past other traffic in the blink of an eye. It's so damn fast. And also, once you're in Sport or Sport Plus, any off-throttle response is met with a nice crackle and pop in the exhaust, and who doesn't like that? Performance of this car is outstanding. With the car in Sport Plus, things get ramped up a little bit more. The driver's still in dynamic, suspension is now in Sport Plus, and that means it's a bit firmer, and you can actually feel it, the firmness in the suspension being higher than it is in standard sport mode. It handles that bit better, it sits that bit flatter, so noticeable difference. Driving dynamics still in Pro, and if we go to track mode, everything's full on. Drive is now in race mode, suspension is still in Sport Plus, and dynamics in Pro. You also have your individual mode where you can set your own settings to whatever you want, and that includes adjusting the exhaust noise off or on. So you could have it in a type of race mode, but with the exhaust noise in standard, not loud, if you like. Totally up to you. I'm heading back from my weekend away in the GT63, and all is not rosy. I mean, it almost feels like the perfect sports car, hypercar. The tyre and road noise I talked about before is getting quite weary on a long trip. I feel like putting noise cancelling headphones on. I'm not going to, because I want to hear that engine, but it can get quite intrusive. But as I mentioned, it's all part of the experience. It's part of that rawness of this car, and I do appreciate that. But if there's one thing that I'm not loving, it's the steering wheel position. It's electric adjust in and out, up and down, as you'd expect for that sort of cash. But it won't go back any further than it is, and I feel like my arms are too close to the wheel. I like, not Italian style, not straight arms, but I like to have my arms a bit straighter than what they are, and so it's feeling a bit unnatural to me to have my arms this close to the wheel. And then I thought I'd just do the seat back rest back more to give myself more arm length, if you like, but it won't go back any more than it is, and it's not really back a very long way at all. I've got the sports seats option in this test car. I think if it was me, I'd be testing out one of the AMG GTs without the sports seat option and just seeing if you get more adjustment in the seats and you can get yourself a bit further back from the wheel if you like that. If you don't mind it with your arms a bit closer, it could probably work for you. So performance is outstanding. We talked about the brakes being excellent. What about general handling? How does this car at over 2 tons get around the corners? I mentioned earlier that turn-in is improved over the previous model. It's not outstanding just due to the sheer mass of the car, but it's still pretty good. Overall handling, you've got all-wheel drive. That's always in your back pocket. You've got fantastic electronics that are helping you get the grip to and power to any wheel that has it. So it's phenomenal, especially when you consider this is over 2 ton. This is a damn heavy car. But with acceleration, you got under your right foot coming out of corners, slow and fast out works beautifully. The brakes are fantastic, so you can really hammer this car on a windy road and you're rewarded with an amazing driving experience. It is a phenomenal handling car. Again, when you consider the weight of it, it's awesome. We've had other heavy cars before where we talked about you can feel the mass of the car on the corners. This one, it's well disguised. You can't feel that mass. It just handles so damn well. It's incredible. No doubt that those massive 304, 305 Michelin Pilot Sport 5 tyres are helping hugely, but everything else, the whole car, the sum of it, the handling, acceleration, all-wheel drive grip, the tyres, active suspension, all of that, it just equals a fantastic handling experience. You won't be disappointed. This is what happens when you nearly run out of gas in an AMG GT63 and you got to fill it up. Well, we ended up covering 1,800 kilometers in the car, and early on the fuel economy was a bit horrendous, especially when I picked it up. But 2 weekends away, so lots of open road driving, New Zealand speed limits, some testing. Loaded up, 2 people, quite a bit of stuff in the boot. And overall, after that 1,800 kilometers, it's down to 12.1 litres per 100 Ks. Got to be happy with that. I mean, this is a hypercar. It's 430 kilowatts of power. It sounds so good. You want to keep pushing your foot down to accelerate away from the lights just to make that sound. So I think any buyer is probably going to be happy with that figure if they even cared. So after nearly 2,000 kilometers of commuting, open road driving, weekends away, what are the 5 things I really like about this car? The first, not in any particular order, it's probably the interior. Okay, it's sort of the same as a lot of other Mercedes-Benz, Mercedes-AMG interiors, but while I wouldn't buy white, it looks outstanding, and these vents make it feel like you're in a plane. It's just so well done, so brilliantly done. Other than the things I mentioned, like these cheap sun visors, the interior is definitely a highlight. My second like is 100% is the design. It looks incredible, especially in this hyper blue paint. Absolutely worth the 10 grand premium for this colour. I have never had a test car that so many people looked at everywhere, so many comments, gas stations, you name it. Just people coming up and saying, nice car, mate. We stopped in Wairau today to get some gas, and there was a van load of teenage boys next to us, and they were making it look like they weren't, but they were taking photos all over the place. Couldn't help themselves. It looks incredible. It's a poster car on your bedroom wall, definitely. My third like is the performance. It is just so very good. Yes, EVs accelerate faster. EVs will get to 100 Ks quicker than 3.2, some of them at least. But the sounds that go with us are amazing. The open road performance, passing other cars, the whole experience of the performance and the actual performance, outstanding. My fourth like, I guess, in that respect, when we're talking about the engine, is the engine noise. We reviewed the Ford Mustang Dark Horse not too long ago, and that sounded incredible, and it does. This, on another level, it is just superb. Mercedes-AMG have done an amazing job with the engine note. It's just beautiful. My fifth like in this car, not final, but my fifth biggest like, handling, braking, steering, is just absolute top of the class, as you'd expect. Again, Mercedes-AMG hypercar, the steering is absolutely beautiful. The feedback, it sits so flat in the corners. You can take corners at far higher speeds than you would think. It is brilliant, a brilliant handling car. It really is. It's just outstanding. The grip, no, not you, Mercedes. The computers that are controlling the all-wheel drive system, those 305 Michelin tires, the handling in this car is one of the best of experience. It's just amazing. Okay, so what are the 5 things, the top things that I don't like about this car? And this is pretty hard because the car's freaking awesome. My first one are these sun visors. And I know that seems really petty, but this is near on 400k, and honestly, these are so thin and cheap, and they just feel cheap. Just not great. Second thing would be the haptic steering wheel controls. Still don't like them. I still end up doing things that I don't want to do because my palm is brushed against them. I just wish Mercedes-Benz would chuck them out and put the old ones back on. That would be brilliant. That would be really nice. The third dislike for me is the seating position. Might be because of my height, but I have never actually felt comfortable in this car. Like, absolutely comfortable. Love driving it. Would happily drive Auckland to Wellington, but the seating position for my arms, my back, never found it great at all. I have found today on the way back from Taupo that if I lower the seat down, I can get the backrest going back a bit more. I like the seat higher so I can see better. So yeah, that's not been a favourite thing of mine. My fourth thing would be the ride. Yes, expect it to be quite firm, hypercar handling, awesome. It is quite firm. On that ride back today, we were both going a little bit over it on New Zealand quality of roads. It was a bit weary after a while, gotta say. My last dislike, which is going to sound weird, but you'll understand. This car is so wasted in New Zealand. Its performance is so good. I mean, 3.2 to 100k, you get there and then you've got to back right off. You know, you want to go to 200, not 100. It just feels like it's just a waste of time on New Zealand roads. And you might say, well, take it to the track. Honestly, how many people with a GT63 are going to take it to a track in New Zealand? Not many, if any. So it just feels like it's pointless, and yet it's so good. And as I said before, I'd happily drive this car every day, and I really would, but it feels like an absolute waste. Leave us a note in the comments about what you like and don't like about this car. Do you love the shape and the colour, or not really? As always, we love subscribers. Please subscribe to the channel, it can only help us. Check out the Drive Life website for more written reviews. Check out the Drive Life channel for more YouTube reviews. And I'll say ka kite anō, and I'll see you next time on the channel.